Last time on the Weird Wild West, our 5 heroes, Joseph, Elsie, Bonton, Bear, and Milo, traveled to the Mountain of the Sun, where they encountered a Ute chiefess who could take the form of an abomination that somewhat resembled a hybrid of human and bear. They survived a harrowing fight and returned to the safety of Rocktown, only to be overtaken by harrowing nightmares. As day breaks in Rocktown, each of our heroes wakes from their own separate hellscape. Our heroes snoop about town and learn that the Rocktown mine is primarily mining an unknown, flaky black ore. Nobody in town seems to understand its origin or its value, but the mine is shipping a great deal of ore east to St. Louis. Amidst their investigation, they meet J.D. Rock, a feller you can trust, owner of the Rocktown mine, builder of Rock Road, author of The Secret to Management, subtitled The Rep, Trust Yourself, Hire the Best, Exemplifies Success, Respect Talent, Empower Talent, and Pay Talent. Mr. Rock is a bombastic fellow, dressed in a shimmering silver suit, riding a white stallion, and more than happy to talk about himself. Milo is more than happy to take Mr. Rock's money in a card game. Built these roads, this town, and this mining operation in less than 6 months during the Colorado winter. That's an engineering achievement unrivaled in the American West.
That is impressive, Mr. Rock. Are there any other towns around here?
Well, I done heard of a place called Gunniston being built northwest. Never been there, though. Wouldn't mind sending a gambler such as yourself up there to take their hard-earned money. Leave my boys alone. Hell, I'd put you on retainer to head on up that way.
That sounds like a fine offer. I'd love to test my luck in the new town.
After camping outside Rocktown for the night, Bear and Joseph awake to a cold, clean morning, full of the sounds of nature. Much to their chagrin, they soon saw Elsie rushing into camp. Bear left immediately to gather firewood and scout about, hoping to avoid her. But Elsie followed him, ruining the quiet of the morning.
Hey, wait up! There's something special here. It's my destiny to learn about creatures with a connection to the beyond. I go wherever I'm led, and it's leading me to you.
Nothing special here, lady, except maybe you. Joseph, do you know this crazy woman?
Well, I'm akin to the tarot, and according to our legends, she's a seer. Her perceptions go far beyond this world. She may appear insane, but genius often does.
Great, now I got 2 loonies to babysit.
Speak for yourself. At least we don't have any desire to eat raw flesh.
Bear and Joseph both got very quiet. A short time later, Milo arrived at camp and floated the idea of journeying to Gunniston. Bear immediately agreed, as he enjoyed an itinerant lifestyle in the warmer months and knew all the routes through these mountains. While recovering from his injuries, Bonton enjoyed the company of a lady for hire named Marg or Maggie or something. She later gave Bonton a healing ointment as a parting gift, and Bonton quickly forgot all about her. Everyone in town knew that Mr. Rock had launched an investigation into the murdered miner, and Bonton was eager to put that situation in his rear view. He sought out the others, hoping to travel together with them.
Our prowess is quite formidable in a group. Traveling together may give us a better chance to arrive at our destination.
Mr. Bonton, it will be an honor to walk by your side into these dangerous woods.
Likewise, mon ami.
Bear stared daggers at Bonton, his eyes slowly warming, glowing a faint red as he remembered what Bonton did to that miner. Shaking his head, Bear swallowed hard and steadied himself. Our heroes decide to travel together, as they have little reason to stay in Rocktown. The clear, crisp Colorado spring weather granted excellent visibility as our heroes traveled northwest on steep mountain passes, crossing high cliffs. Bear knew these mountains well and followed a game trail safely around the Mountain of the Sun. Early afternoon of the second day, Bear spotted something strange. The copse of dead trees stood out starkly in the carpet of green pines. He knew that those trees were not dead a month ago when he last traveled this way, but now they were brown and shriveled. While the others continued along the steep trail, Bear and Joseph split off from the group to investigate the trees. After climbing deftly down a steep cliff, Bear was the first to arrive on the scene. As he crossed the threshold into the circle of death, his mind drifted backwards to a memory from long ago. Joseph struggled to climb down the steep cliff, slipping and falling, landing with scrapes and bruises but no broken bones. As he approached the dead trees, he saw a bear wandering aimlessly back and forth through the circle. The center of the dead trees glowed with a faint gray rune.
Bear! Bear! What are you doing? Snap out of it! The rune on the ground there is a symbol of regeneration. It's used by monsters to heal themselves. We best be getting back to our friends. It's not safe to be alone around here.
Whatever killed these trees has been stealing from my traps for years. I'm gonna hunt it down.
After Bear and Joseph rejoined their friends, they continued the long hike through the sparkling snow and breathtaking vistas. Several days later, our heroes arrived at the Gunniston River. Surging with fresh snowmelt, the river tore its way through the mountains, leaving a gaping chasm in the hard rock. Bear knew of a single bridge over this river, old and precarious in the best of times. When they arrived at the bridge, they found it iced over from frozen condensation, and a quick look revealed that it could likely support only a single person. Milo crossed first, and was surprised to find himself face to face with a young man of about 15 or 16 years of age. The boy was carrying a carbine rifle, and politely asked Milo if he had any food or medicine. When Milo declined to offer aid, the boy raised his hand, and the sound of rifle shots rang out on both sides of the river, startling Bonton, who was halfway across the icy bridge. Bonton slipped and was barely able to cling onto the bridge, his arms wrapped around an icy board that dangled dangerously in the swaying height. With the wind whipping around him, the water beneath him crashing to sharp rocks 100 feet below, Bonton crawled on his belly, plank by frigid plank. When he arrived on the far side, he pulled his daggers and pressed them to the boy's throat. The boy pleaded with Milo, as the sounds of gunshots echoed once more through the mountains.
Please, sirs, my sisters are starving. My friend is injured and we need your help.
Something in the boy's eyes convinced Milo, and Milo pulled Bonton back and gestured for the others to make their way across.
Tell your friends to put their guns away. Take us to your sister, and we will help you.
The bandit boy did as he was told, flashing a grateful smile that seemed to warm the frigid morning. When everyone was across the river, the boy led them to a cliffside cave, where 10 children were huddled over a tiny fire. One of them was badly injured, the bone in his leg piercing the skin in his calf. The leg was dark and swollen, and the boy was delirious and fevered. The other children looked on in awe as Joseph stepped up to the injured child, carrying the salve. With his rosary, Joseph led the children in a deeply reverent prayer, applying the salve to the broken leg. The fervent prayers of the children lifted their voices, and the whole cave echoed with impassioned pleas for healing. Strangely, the moment the salve touched the skin, the bone disappeared, the bruise receded, and the boy's fever lessened. In tears, the other children followed Joseph and Amos through the recitations of ancient prayers as the other adults sat in silence. Later, when the injured boy was asleep and recovering, the leader of the group introduced himself as Amos. He carried himself with a divine confidence and his words and presence seemed to carry the spirit of his flock. As our heroes shared food with the starving children, Amos told them of Gunniston, where the children once lived.
Mayor Buxted was determined to marry both my sisters, and Reverend Forbush gave his blessing as he always does. In the last 6 months, Mr. Buxted has married 9 girls under the age of 14, and all of them were beaten and abused. I could not stand this feat for my sisters.
As the golden-haired boy speaks, a beam of sunlight breaks through clouds overhead. The light bathes Amos in a halo of gold, warming the cave with its sudden presence as the other children continue their quiet prayers.
Tabitha, the youngest, is only 10 years old. My friends and I are regularly sent to hunt for food. So on our last hunting trip, we took my sisters and left. We planned to go to California and start a new life. Unfortunately, Zoram broke his leg before we got far. Now we are starving. We want nothing more than to return to our families and homes in Gunniston. But we cannot return while that monster Mr. Buxted is still there, and while the Reverend, who proclaims himself a man of God, does not serve the interests of our Lord. Perhaps some righteous persons, such as yourselves, can show them the error of their ways.
As he speaks of his sisters and friends, tears well in his eyes. He turns to our heroes. Will you help us?
Hey everybody, Gabe here from the Weird Wild West, staring up into that warm light emanating down from the fluorescent heavens above. Remember to hit the bell icon so you'll be notified when we have our next video. Like, subscribe, share. Comment down below. See you next time on the Weird Wild West.